here, your favorite ginger bibliophile, and welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. And we're gonna do something really fun today because it's a day of celebration. I finally made 500 subscribers after 2 years, so we're doing a little QA. And it's kind of hard to tell because I'm looking at a blank screen and she's ducking her head, but we've got a big girl Franny over here that's half napping after her breakfast. And so I've got a couple questions in my trusty Harry Potter book here from some of y'all. So I started this channel about 2 years ago because I don't have a lot of people in my actual day-to-day life that I can talk books with. There's, two guys at work, one that reads like everything and one that basically just reads Dean Koontz and self-help, but he's got a ton of kids so he doesn't get a bunch of reading done. And the boyfriend who reads sci-fi and history books about wars and really evil dictators of old days like Caligula and whatnot. Not really the kind of stuff that your girl reads. So I started this channel to find my peoples, and it's been a slow process. I know most y'all are just here for the cute puppies and all the kitties and whatnot, which, dude, I can't blame you at all for that. But I've been slowly making friends here and finding folks I'm like, oh, you love the same author I do, yay! And some very sweet people that I still get excited when my videos get 20 views. So I got subscribers, but not a lot of viewers, but that's okay. I found my people, I made friends, that's what it's all about. So we're gonna get on into the questions here. And the first one is from the always very sweet, she's total cheerleader of everybody, MJ over at Reading This Life. I mean, she sits there, I think she's almost at 100 now in her series of weekly going, hey, here's some booktubers you need to check out. So she is absolutely amazing. If you haven't, go check her out. But she asked, what book do you recommend to everyone over and over? And I can't pick just one because everybody needs to read Harry Potter or anything by my favorite comedic author, Christopher Moore. And I can't pick a favorite. I started with You Suck, a love story, which is actually the second in his Vampires of San Francisco, series. Or there's A Dirty Job, which also takes place in San Francisco, and it's not a spin-off, but it kind of takes place at the same time, and you'll see scenes that were in both books from different points of view. And it's just, I really hope he does more of that series because right now there's only 2 books, and I need more Sophie. I freaking love her. She's the mouthiest little girl. In the sequel, she is at a school run by nuns and is in detention, essentially, and goes out of her way to be over the top creepy to try to, get a shock value expression out of some guy that walks up to her. I would hate to have to raise that child, and if I had kids, they'd probably be just like her, but I freaking love her. I need more. And of course, if you're going for action and adventure, big travel the world, blow stuff up, explosions, you can't go wrong with James Rollins' Sigma Force series, or, well, anything by James Rollins. But Sigma Force and the later books where we have Kowalski, my favorite character, who is a big cuddly teddy bear that isn't happy if he's not blowing something up, or at least shooting somebody with a really huge, not available to the public, new weapon. So, yeah, I freaking love him. That's actually how I found some of the people that I first started watching that I still watch all the time, which would be, Adriana and Matthew, and I will link their channels down below as well, because if you're not watching them yet, you're missing out. So those are kind of my go-to reads, and way too many good ones that I've been finding off, Kindle Unlimited for some of my other favorite genres. But those are my go-tos that everybody has to read, because you're missing out. And then I got a really good question that I thought I had the answer to, and then I started thinking about it more when I was doing reading sprints again on last Friday. We were chatting, and one of my awesome subscribers, Kotor, asked me, "Did you ever say, oh, this book is really amazing,' and then never read it again?" And of course, my initial answer is no. If it's amazing, duh, I'm gonna read it again. It's amazing. And then I was thinking about it, and yeah, that answer was a lie. I've been trying to read through my TBR the last year or so, and as y'all know, I have failed. I have bought so many books. I have, I started last year with like 60. I read most of those, and I have way more than 60 this year. But and in doing that, I was like, I've got a lot of books that I've read once, and they're freaking amazing. I really need to read that series again. Like the Pendergast series by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. I've read almost every one of those. The last couple have been but I got them kind of piecemeal. I started off, I found a Brimstone for a quarter at a used bookstore. I'm like, this seems cool. That's, I think, the 5th book in this series, and I've just picked them up, here and there where I found them. I got gifted a couple, for birthdays and Christmases throughout the years. So they, for the most part, are amazing. I need to go back and read them from the beginning. Honestly, like the last probably 5 Sigma Force novels, I haven't given a reread to, but I love them. I am overdue for reading that whole series through. I'm currently, that far into this one, which is the next to last book in the Jack West Jr. series. I started the series several years ago, put it on hold for about 2 years because I couldn't find the last 2 books, and I was too impatient to go back and reread them, so I could do with starting that series over from the start. I've loved most of what I've read by Dean Koontz. He has let me down a few times, and there's a lot I haven't read by him yet. But I've got about 20 books from his, extensive catalog, and except for The Taking, I've only read, I think most of them that I have I've read once, and I've loved them. So yeah, I lied. I've got a lot of authors and series that are freaking amazing that deserve a second read in order. So yeah, I lied, but I will remedy that one day. I just gave myself an idea for some series that I don't know how to fit in of just, here's a reading project. I'm reading this whole series again. And there's so many. Anne Rice, I've got some old school Greek mythology from like high school or middle school that I loved. So many. And then from the awesome Farrah from Bookstalgic. She's such a sweetheart, and I love her videos, especially like her vlogs that she, usually does towards the end of the month of, here's a book, okay, here's some nature, here's some more books, here's some more nature. So calming, so amazing, and she's so sweet. She had quite a few questions for me. And again, I will link her channel below because y'all are missing out if you're not watching her. And the first question she asked was, what's my favorite place that I've traveled? And this is gonna be cliche, but I'm gonna say Orlando because I got to go to Disney World with Daddy as a college graduation present, and as a Disney girl, oh my god, that was bucket list. And I got to go with Daddy, who had to learn his princesses, and we got to watch fireworks at Disney World every single night. How awesome is that? And if you go to Epcot and you get in the right spots, you can see all the different fireworks from all the different parks. And your girl used to get to make some. I miss it. And then, of course, there's also Universal, which has Harry Potter. And I took myself there as a solo depressed trip because I had spent 11 months looking for a job, and all I got was about 100 you'll never be good enough rejections every month. So it's not like I have to be at work Monday morning, so I took myself to Universal for a few days, and you just hung out at Hogwarts and Hogsmeade and had a great freaking time. Ate way too much junk food. I got to pet doggies. It's awesome. Of course, are there places still on the bucket list? Oh, yes. That I cannot afford yet, but I'm totally traveling to Scotland. And, I gotta need to do New Zealand too and a few other places. But, so, and then she asked me what my dream job was, and temporarily I had that one. You suck, COVID. My boss was a sexist Russian douchebag that I did have fun occasionally spiting him because he would tell me to do something like, this doesn't work. I'm the chemist. You're the manager that you worked at a different factory and it didn't go well for the people under you. But I do what he wanted and then what I thought should work. Show him both and then very smugly sit there and smile when he said how crappy the one was and how much he loved the other. And the crappy one was the one that he told me to make, and the other one was the formula that I came up with. So, yeah. I need to get back in that field because I mean, they paid me to watch fireworks. How is that not awesome? I was looking at them during the day where the color's not the best, which is why, like, I got to tweak some of those formulas. Y'all are saying that's yellow and that's orange. Maybe at night, but that's not when I'm seeing it. So I want to make sure that if we tell a client that they're getting orange fireworks made by me, that they're really orange. And I got to make some that went to Disney World for their, Star Wars show that we're shooting off on the top of one of the buildings. So that's awesome. I wish I could have got to make some more for Pink because I freaking love her. It was a great time. Like, if you got the hookup, your girl wants to go back to blowing stuff up for a living in the pretty way. The fireworks, the pyrotechnics. Like, I hated my boss. Some of the other coworkers were sketchy, and there was only 6 of them. And I still loved getting up every morning to go. So I had the dream job. One day I'll have it again. And do your friends and family know about your BookTube channel? Yes, they do. I got zero shame. In the early days, I would post my videos on Facebook and go, hey, you need to watch this. Get into books and watch my video. Now I'm just like, you know about it. You're either going to support me or not. Whatevs. But, yep. They all know. I got no shame. They might not know about some of the things that I have written. But, they know the channel exists. And lastly, she has me, a story about how I got each of my babies, who of course are now being mean. Franny has abandoned me. Little man took himself to bed. I guess I'm not worth guarding today because he got in trouble for constantly yelling at the poor kitty that I'm not sure if it has a home and it's just an indoor-outdoor kitty because it's generally sitting in the driveway and occasionally on top of like the trucks literally across the street from me. But every now and then I will see it like try to slink into the sewer access, on my side of the curb or slink into a driveway around the corner. But he likes to yell at that sweet little kitty, so I got into him and put some food out for the kitty. And of course, Jackie Boy has his own room because he's loving so long as he can't tell that you're loving on him. And JB's just a butthead unless, you're in the bathroom or by his food bowl in the kitchen. Because I have trained him that he has to, like, there's food in your bowl. It is filled to the brim. I'm not giving you fresh bits if you won't let me love on you. He's got the boyfriend trained, but I train him. So I'm allowed to pet him there. And every now and then, he chases me down the hall and smacks my ankles and yells at me for pets. Until I go to pet him. But little man who y'all usually get to see, because he's my little cuddly lover boy, was, we found him when I was still living in New Mexico for school. He was running around the grocery store where the boyfriend worked, just, covered in bald patches, skinny, shaking, peeing himself, terrified little, underweight puppy. And, they were gonna take him to the local shelter where they give him 30 days and then they either get adopted, they gotta work out transport to get them up to Utah, or we don't have a puppy anymore. And Millicent's boyfriend, called me, hey, would you mind if I brought home a puppy? And I was still asleep because I still had like 2 hours before I had to get up for class. And plus, why would you ask that? It's a doggy. Of course the answer is yes. So the manager gives him okay. All right, go take the dog home and then come back. So I'm sleeping, and then suddenly there's this cute little, looks like a malnourished black lab being dropped on me that proceeds to lick me for the next half hour until he just passes out on me on the bed, and the boyfriend goes back to work. And we found out that, yep, given when he lost his baby teeth, he was about 2 months old when we got him. So, yeah, he's a June baby. we found him in August. So that's my little man. And then we got Franny, the other, big girl. His little man used to have a big brother. Now he's almost the oldest in the family. I had my Scooter baby who sadly we lost him, and little man was starting to try to pick World War III with our cat Jackie Boy. So like classes ended. I'm like, I got 3 months to stay home and train the dog, get him to behave with the others. So went up to the local shelter. Couldn't get a big dog because we had Jack, who, if it's small, I mean, he did kind of grow up with, my Scooter baby, and they were backyard bros. They'd hang out, they'd go on walks to what Jack decided was the edge of his territory, and then he'd wait for us to circle back around the block. They'd hang out in the backyard. Little man is a little butthead who would chase him over the fence. But yeah, like, all right, we're starting World War III. Okay, we're getting a small dog. So I brought home Franny, who at the time was just a little fluffy puppy with her little nub tail and her little wrought eyebrows. And I promise I did not take her back to the pound. She just, like, I have baby pictures of her. Y'all have seen her now. Her face kept going back and forth, changing colors till she looked like the dog she is now. But she was cat sized and went up and sniffed him and sat down, and he sniffed her and was like, all right, this dog is okay. So trial run, and then we kept her. Jackie Boy followed me home from class one night. The boyfriend was supposed to be walking me home from my chem lab that got out at like 9 o'clock. Because, I'm a redhead, and my, coworkers sent me keychain mace for, it's like, all right, you're going up to college. You're a girl. You're by yourself. You gotta have mace and other things to protect yourself. So, like, I used to work with some awesome folks. It was retail, the customers sucked, but management and coworkers, I still talk to some of them. But, he was gonna go meet me, and then, I find him by the cut, crouched down on the ground, and something fluffy at his feet. Cute, skinny, fluffy gray kitty, who was, he wouldn't walk across the little grate of a bridge that, was over this tiny creek. So, I picked him up, carried him across that, and then he proceeded to follow us home. That was back in October of 2012. And, then he ran out under Franny and got lost January 2018, and he is still... I love on him. Y'all have seen the videos of him, but I can't pet him if he is looking at me. And that is years of progress. For the longest, use the scratcher. You had to distract him with food so that he would not attack you. He's gotten back to like, oh, you're petting me. Hey, I see you petting me. Stop that. And then there is JB, who you don't see many videos of because he's usually hiding somewhere. He's either asleep in the middle of the bed with his mama, Franny, or, he's doing the cat thing and hiding. But I actually found him at, the place where I used to work, my old dream job. The mama had abandoned him under the, well house, and he was just a sick little thing, had gunked up eyes to where he couldn't see anything, and almost fit in my hand. He was a little bit bigger. And he scared the crap out of a couple of my big, tough, co-workers. And he didn't even do anything. He walked behind him and did a cute little kitty sneeze, and they screamed, and I cracked my, yeah, yep. Like, yeah, big, tough, I can take on anyone. You got scared by a 1 pound kitten. Pansy. So we brought JB home. Well, took him to the vet. Had to call him like, we're not gonna get there till like 2 minutes before y'all close. But I just found this kitty at work. He's sick. We gotta get him fixed up, and I can't have him sick around my other babies. We're gonna have to get him quarantined, but we need to get him looked at. And they're only open the same times that I was working. They agreed, we got him fixed up, and when his eyes finally cleared up enough that we could see them, they were gold, as in GoldenEye from the James Bond of my childhood, hence JB, because James Bond is way too long of a name for a kitty. And of course, I have full stories and way too many talkings about the animals. As I will link it down below, as there's a Dogs of BookTube tag. And if you have a doggy and you haven't done that tag yet, consider yourself tagged, because I want to see all your doggies. And I totally need to do one for the cats. And I promise, the dogs are in the video of the BookTube tag, but I had to go and bribe them with peanut butter, because, like, today they were being butt heads. They hear their names, they know they're being talked about, but they don't want to come visit till I went and got peanut butter. And then you get to see, like, the side of Franny's head and her cute little fake corgi butt, because she was all, I'm getting that peanut butter. She is a very food motivated girl, so I will link that video down below. And I will have to edit in some pictures of the babies, because all four, well, the 3 free ones are being butt heads, and the other ones in his room, I just got done sitting on the floor loving on him for the last hour. So once again, thank y'all so much for, stopping by my little channel and come to visit. I hope you had some fun, and I look forward to seeing you again and chatting with you soon. Bye! Happy reading!